Dun Bradstreet India held the 23rd edition of India's Top 500 Value Creators presented by SBI on November 29, 2023 in Mumbai. In this edition, the summit shifted focus from value extraction to value creation. Let's take a look at the highlights from the event.
It would be pertinent to say that businesses that have been able to create value for all their stakeholders beyond merely maximizing financial numbers for themselves are the ones who have emerged as winners. In line with its commitment to help businesses achieve greater value, Dun Bradstreet has endeavored to further enrich the legacy of its annual India's Top 500 Companies by shifting its focus this year to India's Top 500 Value Creators.
Top 500, if I have to talk about, they are shaping the structure and the format of the Indian economy. They are not just, what you call watching everything from the sideline. They are part of the game. They are helping to shape the what you call the business and the tech-driven world. And they are influencing the employment, business model, strategy, economic growth, and everything.
Up next is a panel discussion themed Business Productivity, Securing Growth in a Changing Global Environment.
Now, in this challenging environments where the global order is changing, India has stood out and is heading to become one of the biggest GDPs after US, China, and maybe it becomes the third one after, overtaking Japan and Germany pretty soon. Now, in this scenario where there are so much of instability globally and India has to come out as a resilient power, we thought probably this will be an apt subject to talk on business productivity and securing growth in the challenging environments, the global environments.
We had to be very, very adaptive, very resilient in this kind of scenario. So that has really helped us to basically go through these challenging times. It's still not over yet. So as we move forward, we have to be extremely diligent in our operational efficiency, in terms of how you use technology, how you use data and analytics.
We've been the fastest growing economy over last, at least post-COVID era, with consistently clocking 7+%. Last year was 7.3, and we've started H1 with a very healthy rate of almost 7.8%. So verdict that way is out that India is a sweet spot, and some of it is also a reflection, how the recent bond inclusion happened, which is just, I think, a starting point of a very large money flow that India will attract.
For an investor, it's very, very critical to have a stable government, because when they're putting in money, they look for a ROI, and also not more than ROI, the capital should be safe.
One of the main challenges after climate change is inequality. And all of us are aware the difference between the haves and the have-nots is growing. Companies, not only listed, but even unlisted companies, private sector by and large, should hold themselves accountable for good governance.
Distribution is not only the route to grow, but distribution is also a way of thinking which can hedge the risks which are definitely facing us. As an individual, I firmly believe that entropy in this world is increasing. Every year, the issues which will come across and hit businesses are only going to increase more and more and more. So it then comes down to the classic model of what do you centralize and what do you distribute so that the risk that your business faces is less and less, which in our context means building up the muscle around distribution, not only towards selling, but even manufacturing.
Mr. Rajneesh Kumar, former chairman SBI and chairman MasterCard and Bharat Pay, talks about how corporate governance is the cornerstone to sustainable value creation.
The world today is largely dominated by services industry. All the developed economies, 70% of their GDP is contributed by services. India is no exception. We are close to 60% as far as GDP contribution. And services, unlike the manufacturing, is more dependent on people. And that is where the biggest challenge for the corporates in creating value over a period of time remains that how do we manage the talent? Acquisition of talent, development of talent, management of talent, retention of talent.
Up next, a keynote session by Shirish Dixit, Head of Partnership and Alliances, Zoho Creator, on digital transformation with low code.
We have been in the market since 1996, and we currently have a portfolio of more than 55 applications. We have more than 700,000 customers across 150 countries. We are profitable since inception, and we are completely bootstrapped.
Moving forward, experts share their views on the topic business resilience, how data and technology can drive resiliency for Indian businesses.
When we are talking about resilience, we are talking about a company surviving the high tides and low tides of time, the cyclical movements which happen in the industry, and also any kind of whiplash that comes from any events which happen in its internal environment or its external one. And that is a very important part of value creation, because there could be superstars in 1 year which may benefit from one significant policy change, or may benefit from the hard work done of 1 year. But how do you identify a company which is really, really strong? And the word strong itself talks about resilience. And here we are talking about resilience in the value creators. We are talking about resilience over past 5 years. And the strongest of companies in our value creators list are actually those who have stood the test of time for a very long period of time, even decades.
Cloud gives you a kind of an operative plane where you basically abstract your entire business resilience away from the geographic boundaries in which you operate. So what it really means is that if you can imagine a world where your risks are not concentrated into a certain way you do things, but distributed across many of the failure points in which you can do that, that was possibly a beginning of it happens.
If you ask what is resilience, it actually is the ability to come back to its original shape when the stress is removed. So from a business point of view, one, you survive, after that you thrive, or just you can take it up to a next level, evolve as altogether a different species. Every business has got 6 dimensions of resilience. One, it is the business model itself. The second one is your reputation, the reputation of your business. The moment you set global business, automatically all the brand names which you see here, they have a reputation. It actually adds to resilience. The next comes the organization structure itself. Then comes the next 3, which is a common thread across all the businesses. That is operations, technology, and finance. This is right on top of every CEO's mind. That is the geopolitical tension hampering your operations. You don't know which part of the world, but if you're operating like JLL in 80 countries, at any point of time, there is at least one crisis brewing in one part of the world.
Only thing which can balance it out is the effective use of data and technology. Data and technology, and really speaking, are contributing a very large thought process in shifting of the operating models as well. It's not just about looking at resilience as well, it's also shifting the operating model itself.
From an AWS standpoint, I guess the way we approach this is typically, rather than risk mitigation, it's always seen as risk anticipation. How do you address resilience? Yes, it's one thing to say that we'll anticipate a potential known unknown, but to be able to innovate is something which is key to what I believe is required from handling a resiliency standpoint.
So you need to have a technology to kind of bicep and kind of structure the data in such a way that it gives you some output, it gives you some results.
Business sustainability, turning ESG into a value-creating function, is the theme for our upcoming panel discussion.
Climate change and social inequity are the biggest challenge our world is facing, right? And at the heart of it is the global warming, which we all know in terms of what's happening. Some 20,000 scientists have been researching this for last 30 odd years, if you were to see, and saying that the world is warming because of carbon emissions and human activity.
The ESG or sustainability is, as the word connotes, sustainable. Something which will make the business, the operations, the work we are doing sustainable beyond a day, beyond a month, beyond a year, or beyond decades. I think it is, fundamentally speaking, the concept of sustainability.
Customers are expecting us to produce more sustainable products, apart from what the investors are asking for it. And all we know that regulators are looking at us, especially when you are the listed company.
Sustainability is a risk as well as an opportunity. It depends at how do you see it. And I think that it's not just the sustainability. Every risk, even if it is a business risk, how do you turn that risk into an opportunity? That matters.
Any organization which does not take cognizance of the society around them and the environment cannot be sustainable. The definition is plain English, and it's very plain enough for all of us to understand. When you practice this over a period of time, it becomes sustainable and the data starts throwing up. For investors like us, it becomes responsible investing, is what is the term used globally. So if there are two companies which are giving similar returns or similar profits or whatever, and one is compliant on ESG and one is not, the automatic choice should be the ESG company, is the way we look at it.
Since 1997, Dun Bradstreet has been documenting the contributions of the Indian corporate sector through our flagship publication, the India's Top 500 Companies. And as all of us know, India has prospered, but at that point in time, it had just started the journey in terms of opening up and growing. So I'll share some numbers. In 1997, India's GDP was just about 14 trillion rupees. I'll take it in rupees. Total revenue of the top 500 companies has increased 23 times, from 4 trillion rupees in 1997 to 91 trillion rupees in 2023. And that, you would imagine, is a little bit, the top companies obviously grow faster than the general economy. So that CAGR obviously is higher than that 12-13%. And all of us, I guess, from big companies here benefit from that scale and size.
All across the world, India is today perceived as an engine of growth, as a country that will drive global growth. And I believe that the growth potential represents a significant opportunity, not for India Incorporated and for all of us present here, and for all of you and all of us to rise to the occasion to help India achieve its rightful place in the world. With a median age of 28 years, India has the largest youth population in the world. And over the next 25 years, India is estimated to have 1.1 billion individuals, 1.1 billion individuals between the age group of 15 and 64, which is 1.6 times the entire population of Europe. And to reap the advantages of this demographic dividend, India has to create 231 million jobs. That's a lot of jobs if you keep the technology and the productivity in mind. And if you don't provide these jobs, then the converse will happen. To fuel this growth, we need a gross fixed capital formation of 33% of the GDP. In other words, this translates to a cumulative capital requirement of nearly $120 trillion over the next 25 years. And while India's savings are strong, they won't be enough to meet the capital needs. Therefore, India must find ways to attract a substantial amount of foreign capital and foreign investment to maintain the required investment level to fuel the growth rate targets that we have. The top 500 value creators, you're very, very important. As a unit, you contribute 30% of India's GDP through three channels. Firstly, your business directly contributes to 9% of India's GDP via way of profit making and providing an income stream for your employees. Secondly, an indirect impact is generated when you procure goods and services from a wide range of suppliers, adding an extra 14%. This channel creates a ripple effect on the broader economy by boosting knowledge transfer and establishing strong backward and forward linkages with other businesses, small, micro, big, and large. Lastly, an induced impact accounting for another 8% is created as your employees contribute to the economy through their consumption expenditures.
Indeed, one entrepreneur doesn't work for himself, a value creator works for the community. And that is the role our value creators, the top 500 value creators, have played in our economy. They were torch bearers of the economy. They have taken the lead. They have taken the risk and created these enterprises to provide employment opportunities, to provide the growth of the secondary sector, the tertiary sector. And that is really what will facilitate the India to convert itself from the 5th largest economy to the 3rd largest economy, which is the goal of the government, and we all Indians look for it, that yes, we have to grow to be the 3rd largest economy when we have already grown as the 3rd largest in consumption of the purchase of the cars. We have grown 3rd largest in terms of aviation market. Why can't we be the 3rd largest in the economy? And I think the government and the entire our corporate citizens, if we work together along with our banking system, we can achieve that goal of the Indian economy. Indian banking system is funding the last mile farmers as an agriculture sector, and what is fueling it is ease of doing banking and how it is being organized. The payment space has already been digitalized. We all are experiencing the convenience of transaction through UPI, through the how easily we can transact. The same type of convenience now the turn is for lending.
All intelligent investing is ultimately value investing, acquiring more than what you pay for. And that is what true value is about. Whatever you put as an input, whatever it is in the cost, you get much more from it. And that was the objective of identifying the value creators, some of whom are here today. In fact, the best ones are here today. Because value creation is about long-term sustainability. Value creation is about being the strongest amongst all.
The summit also unveiled the India's Top 500 Value Creators 2023 publication that features corporate India's top value creators across 50+ sectors, insights on India's corporate sector, and expert views of top executives of India Inc. For more than a decade, the Dun Bradstreet Corporate Awards has commemorated the outstanding performers among Indian corporates and have motivated them to give their best every year. India's top 500 value creators were recognized across 35+ categories, including sectoral and special recognition awards. These awards are a testament to the hard work and dedication of corporate India, who is setting a benchmark for excellence.
As an industry, we're going through a hype cycle of AI, generative AI. And generally, when you go through this hype cycle, there comes a trough when you basically start to realize that what is the actual deployment model for most of the ITs that you're doing. What we are seeing today is an amazing amalgamation of a hype cycle in the industry, leading to multiple creation of assets across the industry cycles. If it is financial services, we are seeing a different kind of generative AI penetrations. If it is automotive and other manufacturing companies, we are seeing a different kind of security challenges. And all of the hyperscalers are also kind of jumping in to build that piece. So what we bring as a partner to most of the Fortune 500 companies is to get the specific multi and hybrid skill sets. Having invested in building a global scale cloud ops gives us the edge and advantage in being a managed services provider. There needs to be an idea.
an idea you're completely have a conviction that it will add value or it will disrupt the environment to give value to customers, the industry, and not just the MNCs and the corporates, but we help hundreds and hundreds of startups who completely believe and depend on express logistics, and their business survives because of that. So I think that's where value creation matters, creating businesses, supporting businesses every corner of the country. So in our business, it will be people, service, and profits. We need to be profitable. So you have great people, they will add great service, and great service will mean more business and more profits. So that's the success mantra of Blue Dart.
We create a lot of value to the containers, where we ventured into a process called in-mold molding, in-mold labeling, where the label is kept in the mold and the component comes out with decorated decoration of all the brands across whatever we are supplying to Asian Paints, Nerolac, Castrol, all the food FMCG products like Himalaya, Cadbury's, Mondelez, P&G. So this process has created a big value to our company, and across India we presently employ around approximately 12 to 13,000 employees, directly and indirectly.
Personally, for me, it gels with two of my life goals. One is value creation, and the second is making difference in the lives of people. So personally, it has been very gratifying as the managing director of the company. And professionally, I think that's the best indicator of any corporate, any company performance. If you start judging people by one or other financial parameter, and there are hundreds of them, financial parameters, you may not get the right picture. But the right picture comes through the value which the stakeholders, which the shareholders, which so-called owners of the company, which are shareholders, they give it to you. Because it's not short-term alone, it's short-term, mid-term, and their perception of what the company has the plan for the future.
As far as Indoco is concerned, our success mantra mainly have been our people, number one. We are a high trust management, high trust culture within the organization. We trust our people a lot. We empower people, and that motivates them. We delegate responsibilities, we assign tasks, and people perform these tasks and fulfill all these day-to-day functions with full confidence because they are empowered.